Hello all and welcome back to another model railway video. Now today I'm going to be having a look at another locomotive in HO scale. This time though it's going to be an Australian locomotive. It's a Victorian Railways diesel engine produced by Bendigo Rail Models. So here is the locomotive. This is the Victorian Railways T-Class diesel locomotive. This one is featured in the original blue and gold livery that was very common on early Victorian Railways diesel engines, and is one of two engines at present that Bendigo Rail Models produce. The other locomotive is the P-Class engine, which is a follow-up to the T-Class, as the T-Class engines were eventually modified into many different subclasses. There was a different version, two different versions of the T-Class, one with a raised cab roof, the other also with a raised cab roof and a shortened nose, and there was all sorts of other classes as well, including the P-Class engines, and I've got one of those which I will eventually show you. Today though I'm going to be having a look at this magnificent machine from the early days of Victorian Railways diesels. I'm going to give it a run, but first I'm going to have a close look at this machine. Here we go. So let's have a close-up look at this machine. So we'll start with the cab area. On the cab there's some really fine details included, including separately fitted number plates. It's a really cool feature. You've also got what I believe is a Clyde builder's plate right above it. That's what it looks like to me. I could be wrong, but if it is, really well done. Looks really nice. Also on the cab you've got these bars going around the windows, really finely done. But I'm not sure what on earth they'd be used for, possibly protecting the glass from something. But yeah, really neat. You've also got the central windows that look really nice. They look like they're sliding windows. And you've also got a driver in behind them. You've got a person on either side. So one would be the driver and one would be either your navigator or just a change of crew, or just someone along for the ride. But yeah, that's really well done. You've also got quite a bit of handrailage going on. Handrails on the front, the sides. Really fine, I might add. As you can see, these are really fragile. So if you do get one of these engines, it's because they are still producing them. Not sure about the first series, but they're very fine, the handrails. So if you do get one, be very careful. So you've got handrails at the front, the sides of the cab. You've got it going all the way along the bodywork at the top here, and that looks really well done. You've got one on the end here, just before the steps, and then the one at the very back, which is extremely fine. That's probably the most delicate handrail of the lot, is that one right there. You've also got plenty of detail in terms of like the panels and the vents on the side. That vent there looks like it's separately fitted, looks really nice. And you've also got good detail work in the bogies. They look really good. Both of those look nice. You've got the fuel tank, and that's another well-detailed part. You can see the little bits that have been picked out and the boxes on the edge there. They look like the battery boxes, I'm pretty sure, but it could be wrong. And a very nice, simple blue and gold livery. Looks really cool. On the top of the loco, there's some details I want to point out. You've got all these little eye hooks on the top which have been fitted, and I'm pretty sure that's what would have been used to remove each panel from the loco during a service or an overhaul or something, and you'd probably just have a crane bolt the hooks on there and just lift each panel off once unbolted. So it's quite cool that they've actually gone to the extent of featuring that on the roof, because there's quite a few of them. Looks really cool. Also on the roof you have got the air horns as well, and I'll turn it to the roof view so you can actually have a good look. You've got the exhaust holes, and what I really love about the back end of the loco, look at the vent grille on the rear. That looks so cool. Separately fitted. I'm pretty sure it's metal. I don't know for sure. Could be plastic. But it just looks so nice, and you can see right through it. And even from a side view, if you get it just on the right angle, you can see right through it. Looks so cool. Really well done. But yeah, that is pretty much most of the side detail. There's other little bits and pieces going on here, and separately bits picked out in silver, like the little tie brackets on the side. This would be used for fastening it down if it was being carried around, possibly on a boat or something. But yeah, looks really cool. We'll move to the front of the engine. Just going to turn it gently. So, very, very nice look at the front. You've got the Victorian Railways crest with the lining on the front. You've got a brilliant headboard and set of lights, and these little lights on the side, which actually work, by the way. That's something I'm also going to talk a little bit about when the engine is running, because there is one issue I have with the lights on this, which I'll talk more about after. You've also got the very fine ladder going up to the top here. Those are metal, I can feel that, and they look really, really good. You've also got the hoses by the coupling, nicely fitted coupling, a knuckle coupling with a spring. And what I really like is you've got the coupling lifters, but you've also got a very tiny chain there as well, which it's a separately fitted chain, and it looks so cool. I'm glad that they've included that on this model. You've got the handrails on the sides, as I've already mentioned, but yeah, just really well detailed, looks so good. And it's the same with the other end as well, so I'll turn that around. So very much the same thing in terms of livery, but you've got this big handrail on the rear, the fine one I was talking about, and that looks so good. I'm really pleased with the handrails that are on this, really, really fine. They look so nice. But yeah, in terms of the detail, that is most of the fine components covered really, and of course a brilliant livery, and of course a very common one in the early Victorian Railways diesel era. And also I want to show you the bottom of the engine, because if you want to know what the Bendigo Rail model's crest looks like, there it is on the bottom, you got it there, and this is the T-Class locomotive from Series 1, so this I'd say is from the original first release of these. I bought this locomotive second hand, but in mint condition. The guy who bought it never ran it. All he did was buy it to put in a display case, because I'm pretty sure he just liked the look of the loco. He never ran it. So, yeah, I'm wrapped. It was mint when I bought it, and it has performed well ever since I've bought it. I've had no issues with it at all. Very good loco. You'll get to see that in a moment as well, folks, as I'm now going to put the locomotive on the track. But before I get it running, I am going to talk about one feature with the loco, which is something I don't like. Right, we'll move the loco over to the track. So I've now got the loco down on my HO gauge layout. It's my American layout. I run all my Australian stuff on my American layout, but it doesn't look too bad on there. I'm now going to bring the loco forward and show you the one thing I don't like about it. See if you can spot it when I run it past. Could you see it? I'll do it one more time. Have a look at the front of the engine. What is incorrect here? I'll tell you, it's the lighting. So the headlights on this, in my opinion, should be an orange sort of glow, like a typical bulb sort of glow. These are LEDs in this, and most model engines nowadays are fitted with LEDs, but they're the wrong colour. It's a whitish blue colour. It should be orange, and as you can see, it's whitish blue. It just doesn't look right for an early era diesel engine. Having that colour, to me, just doesn't look right. I'm pretty sure that they have remedied this problem though with some of the more recent engines they've produced. The P-Class engine, which I've got, does have orange glowing lights, so that's a really good thing. So I'm hoping that if they did make another run of these, they would remedy that and put an orange glowing light in there. It's because it needs it. It needs to be an orange glow. But yeah, that's the only problem I have with this machine. But as you can see, as I've just shown you, it's a very smooth loco, really good slow speed. Looks really, really nice. So anyway, I'm now going to hook this up to a load of wagons. It's just for hopper wagons. They're Bachmann manufactured, but they're supposed to be Australian hoppers. I don't think they would have been used in Victoria, but they're the only wagons I've got that have got knuckle couplers. The only Australian ones I have anyway. Rightio, I'll hook it up to the wagons after it does a couple of runs light engine. I'll just get a couple of shots of it doing its run on its own, and then I'll put the wagons on and give it a good run. Right, let's get to it. So there we go, folks. That is the Victorian Railways T-Class locomotive number 338 by Bendigo Rail Models. What a brilliant machine this is. Really well detailed and a good performer. The only thing that I am not too keen on with it, as I've said, is the colour of the lights, but I can forgive that, is because it is a really good locomotive. I really like it. And of course, the original Victorian Railways livery would definitely have to be my favourite. There are other versions of this loco that are available, in fact some that you can still buy, they haven't sold out. There's a yellow livery, there's a grey and orange one, very odd liveries, but there are different versions out there. So if you are keen on one of these, have a look at Bendigo Rail Models T-Class engines, and the people that distribute these, it's Ossian Models that distribute these, and they also have other model locomotives available as well. There's a really good variety of Australian locos out there. Some of them are a little bit pricey, is because a lot of work goes into them, but there is some really, really good engines, particularly the steam engines. I really want to get hold of a Victorian Railway steam engine, in particular a class of loco known as the R class, and I'll hopefully get my chance one day, because I've heard that the company that produced those is going to do a rerun of them. So if I get hold of one, I'll definitely do a video on it, is because the Victorian R class is probably my favourite locomotive of all time. So yeah, very much worth doing a video on if I do get hold of one of those. Very good. I hope you've enjoyed this video, folks. Hope it's been a good change to look at an Australian engine instead of a British or American design. I think it was a really good one to have a look at, is because it's a nice, simple livery, but still a very, very well built model. Very good. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.